Hey everybody, welcome back, and on today's video we're going to be setting up our sales funnel. This is going to be very short and simple. So first thing we're going to do is log into Calltools. And when you log into Calltools, what you want to do is you want to head over to sales and funnels. So this sales and funnels is what we're going to use in our campaign to help us determine how many times is a number going to be called. If we call them and they don't pick up, how long is the system going to wait back to call them again? So we're going to click edit. And now Calltools already gives you like a pretty good idea. I think this is pretty decent in my opinion. Now what this means, it means after one call is made, so let's start from here, right? Outbound call, not live catch all. That means when you start a campaign and you call a bunch of people, if those people don't pick up after the first time you call them, the system is going to wait 4 hours until you call them again, until it's being added to the campaign so you can call them again. Then once you call them again and they don't pick up, it's going to wait 12 hours before it adds them back into the campaign so you can, call them again. If it's the third time that we called them and they didn't pick up, the system is going to wait 4 hours. If it's the fourth time we call them and they don't pick up, the system is going to wait 12 hours. If it's the fifth time, the system is going to wait 4 hours. If it's the sixth time, the system is going to wait 1 hour. If it's the seventh time, the system is going to wait 4 hours, and so on and so on. Now, as you start using the dialer more and more, you can decide if, hey, after the first time that I call them and they don't pick up, I don't want to wait 4 hours. I want to wait only 30 minutes before adding that number back to the campaign. You can then come in here and tweak this. So you can do your 30 minutes. You can do that, hey, after they don't pick up the second time, maybe we want to, touch base much sooner. We could do 30 minutes. Okay? Now, in my opinion, this is honestly okay. It's pretty decent. I would just recommend that the first 3 are like within 30 minutes, just because I like it that way. So I'll call them one time, they don't pick up. I call them again in 30 minutes and again in 30 minutes and then again in 12 hours. Which even then you can play with it. What if you're like, hey, I don't really want to wait 12 hours. I want to wait 5 hours. You can do 5. Meaning after 5 hours, it'll add them back into the campaign. And then once you call them for a fifth time and they don't answer, it'll wait 4 hours before adding them back to the campaign. Okay. Now, if you scroll all the way down, you can see you have this up to 10 times. So after calling them for 10 times and they have not picked up, the system is going to then not ever add them back to the campaign until you go to contacts and add them back inside and recycle them in there. Okay, so after the 10th time, that number is not going to be called anymore because it was called 10 times and they were not able to pick up, and we waited 30 minutes, 6 hours, 5, 4, 1, 4, 12, 4, 12. Okay, now I would recommend making this a little longer, maybe up to like 13, 14. But, okay, 12. It has to go in order, guys, okay? So you have to have 11 out of 11. And then 12 out of 12. Okay. And save. So I think that's pretty much okay. Now there's one more that I would like to add. And we're going to go to add new rule. And we're going to do agent call disposition. This means that every time you press the callback, right? So it's the first time you call the seller and you press the callback, right? You connected. Sometimes you connect to a voicemail. You want to have the option where you press callback, and the system sometimes can accidentally connect you to voicemails. So this callback feature is going to add that number right back into the campaign because we didn't actually talk to anybody. We connected to a voicemail. So we're going to go ahead and priority callback. Well, just a regular callback is fine. Set to call after, let's do 1 hour. So I would duplicate that rule. Maybe just 3 to 4 times is fine. So we'll go here, we'll do 2 out of 2, meaning if it's the second time I call them and it's the second time I'm pressing this call back button, it's gonna add them after 1 hour. So that should be fine, guys. Oh well, 3 out of 3. Click save, and now let me take it back from the top. So we're gonna scroll and just make sure that your sales funnel looks exactly like mine. Now the wait period can be different. That's totally your preference and for you to play around with, but I would recommend the first 3 touches are 30 minutes, and then after that you can wait 5 or 4 or 1 hour. Okay, now you definitely don't want to harass anyone and call them every minute, because that smells like a lawsuit right there. So I would do 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and then give them 5 hours because maybe they're working, 4 hours after the 5th time, and so on and so on. So I'm going to scroll down slowly here, and I want to make sure that you guys are looking at the screen and what you have your sales funnel set up looks exactly like this. So I'm just going to slowly scroll, and I want you guys to make sure that your sales funnel looks like mine. The only thing that is subject to change is the time period, as I mentioned, because that's up to you. But you want to make sure it looks identical to mine, the only difference being the time here.